Hello and welcome to Netflix vs. Cinema. I am your intrepid host, Tosin. This week we will not be having a regular episode because Sharon is still in Thailand, Sharon is still recovering from all those films that she had to watch and building up, let's say, she's building up a back catalogue of films that she has watched for when we actually do come back and we actually do manage to record, which should be next week. But instead of us this week, I thought I would put on an interview that I've had with our Superfan Nina. If you've listened to the show, you know about Superfan Nina. She is, as she says on the thing, a superfan, listens to every episode, all that kind of stuff. And we are the kind of podcast that if anybody shows us any kind of attention whatsoever, we want to bring them in. We want to find out what they think. We want to find out what they have been watching, what they've seen at the cinema, what they've seen on Netflix, and see what their view is about Netflix versus cinema in this age that we live in. What do they think about Netflix versus cinema? So this is Superfan Nina. This has been called from a longer conversation that we had, which you can hear, and you can hear the rest of that conversation in a Avengers Endgame spoilerific podcast, where she has a bit where she just talks about Avengers Endgame. But I think you enjoy listening to Nina. Nina is quite good fun. A massive film buff, and I just love talking to her about film and love her take on it. This interview ends quite abruptly because it goes into another conversation that we had, so please do forgive that. This was recorded way back in the last season of Game of Thrones when that was just on, and that's where you'll hear us begin to start talking about. We will start our first topic of conversation is all about Game of Thrones and how she hasn't watched it, and that's where we kick off, so please do enjoy. What, you got addicted to it? You got addicted to it and then you missed a year?
Basically, what happened was we decided to watch it on like the 30th of December.
Oh, yeah?
Or 31st of December. So we started watching it and then it got to like 11 o'clock and we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. We cancelled our plans for New Year, ended up walking up to Richmond, watching the fireworks, but then literally like a couple of minutes before running up the hill, like watching the fireworks, coming back and staying up till 5 a.m. to kind of carry on watching it. And then we were like, no, we're not going to do it. So I haven't even watched the end of the first series, but everyone tells me that I should start.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think it would be quite good. It might be a good thing to do where you guys come back home and you watch like an hour a day or something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or maybe I watch it separately from Will, and then he can just deal with it in his own time. I'll have to deal with it in my own time, and he'll have to deal with it in his own time. But it's like now on series 8, right? So that means it's 10 or 12 episodes times 90. That's 90 hours of footage I've got to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah, but the way I look at it as like it's almost kind of like reading a book. You have to treat it like reading a book. When you read a book, it takes you don't really think about a number of hours it does. Like if you sit down with a book, how long do you take before you finish reading it?
Yeah.
So I think you have to go like because we've done it with some series. I mean, because we didn't. But when we started watching Game of Thrones, I think we started watching it when it was already on season 6 or something like that.
So you did the same thing.
Yeah. So we got the DVDs and we just sort of powered through. But that was because Claudia, when she gets something in her mind like that, she's like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." I'm like, "Oh, no, can't be bothered." Because before I started watching it, I wasn't bothered. I mean, I didn't even care. I didn't even try and avoid spoilers or anything like that. I was like, well, because I really don't care. I mean, you can tell me whatever spoiler you want to. Truth is, I wouldn't know what you're talking about. So
this is the thing. That's what I'm like. I know that something's happened. I know that certain people die and stuff like that. But I'm like, you know what? I don't really care because I'm not watching it. So
yeah.
But then now, if I do watch it, I'll be like, oh, I know he's going to die. So
well, the truth is, people were telling me all sorts of stuff. I even saw some episodes like out of sequence where somebody died, but I didn't get any significance of what they died or anything. And when I watched it again, I actually totally forgot that this person died until just before they died. I was like, oh yeah, this is that scene that I've seen all the time.
So this is the thing, because there've been so many spoilers at the end of all the series, I think that's exactly what I will be like as well. I'll be like, oh, this is the one where so-and-so dies. Right, I get it now. Yeah. Literally as it happens. Because like when they go through the series, they do that thing, don't they, where they say, oh, you know, there's going to be a big finale and something's going to happen, everyone's guessing, and they're like, oh my God, it was him.
Yeah.
But then they've done it so many times now that I can't remember which season was the one where so-and-so died.
Exactly. You know. So I still think that there'll be a lot in watching it, because I think a lot of it is about the detail. It's not really about the headlines. So there's something called the Red Wedding, and I'd been hearing about the red wedding, and I was watching it and I was going, the way this is going, when's this red wedding going to happen? Then even when it was coming up, I was like, oh no, it was all the detail as to how it happened and who did what and who what, and I was like, no, come on, don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah. But there's also things like characters. They're in seasons and you think they're going to be main characters and carry on and save the day. And then they just kill them off. So all that detail just leads up to a false kind of climax, right? It's where you're just like, oh my God, oh wait, he died?
Well, the thing is, okay, I have to be honest with you. I don't think that Game of Thrones has wasted any death, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, that's because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I know that there were some main characters who were in that first series that I watched that were, I know that if I was to carry on, I would be thinking, oh my God, they're going to be like a big part in this, you know, and be there right to the end. And then you're like, oh, wait, no, they're dead.
Yeah. I think if you get a chance, do catch up with it, but very like slowly. Don't binge it. Don't binge it. That was that will. I actually think that binge watching stuff just ruins your enjoyment of it.
I don't know. I binge watched Love, Death and Robots actually.
Yeah, but that's different because that's really, really short.
I'm surprised at how much they managed to pack into each one of those episodes. To be honest with you.
I know. I think. Yes, carry on.
Some of them were like absolutely like that. Some of them you were thinking this could be like an hour's worth of content here, instead of just a 6 minute program or something like that. I was just thinking there's so much content. Like even the first one, so the one with the
Sonny's Edge.
Yeah, Sunny's Edge.
Yeah.
You didn't know where that was going. There was a lot of content in there. And then suddenly the end was just really, you're like, oh no, that's really good considering it was only 16 minutes.
Yeah. I think for me, my favorite ones are The Day the Yogurts Took Over and Zima Blue.
I liked Zima Blue, but I think there were other ones that were probably a little bit better than that one. Because I quite like the one where the lady is in space.
Yes, Helping Hands.
Yes, Helping Hand. I like that one.
I do feel that's like a 8-minute thing. I feel like that's a whole movie in 8 minutes.
Exactly, it's 8 minutes, and it could be, it could, like you say, it could be part of a main movie, and it just, you don't even have any of the background, you don't know anything about it, but then the end, you're just thinking, I can't believe that just happened, and you feel quite like emotional at the end of it, in 8 minutes.
Yeah, I know that one was kind of like, you're like, oh my God, no, oh my God, that's gonna be so terrible, no.
I felt that about all of them. It was like a roller coaster on a lot of them.
Well,
there were some of them that I was a bit kind of like, oh, that's fine. It's okay.
The Dracula one is a bit meh.
Yeah, that one was a bit too much for me, I think. Like, I was kind of a bit, okay, where's this going? I was thinking it was going to be some amazing ending, but then I was like, well, that was kind of predictable that was probably what was going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, so we're doing this for the internet. Well, not for the internet, for the podcast. Hang on, sorry.
Yeah.
Stop making noise, Netflix. This is for the podcast.
Are you watching Netflix?
No. I was gonna look up the titles or the ones for Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The trash heap one is meh.
I actually quite like the trash heap one because I thought that the main character was actually a really good character.
Yeah, I
didn't like the conclusion of it, but I liked the idea of it.
I thought that it's a good story. He's a good storyteller. The main character is a good storyteller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But apart from that, Good Hunting, the one that's set in like, I really like the Shapeshifters one about the U.S. Army and the werewolves.
See, I didn't like that one so much, to be honest with you. I didn't really understand it. I understood the kind of principle of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel it felt like it was missing something. Like it could have gone on to be something else. Like that could have been something longer, I think, for that one.
Yeah.
That one for me, Shapeshifters, I wasn't that happy with. But I know that you said that you liked Zima Blue.
Yeah.
But then for me, Zima Blue, it was interesting because of the ending, like because you didn't really realise that was the ending.
Yeah.
But I didn't find that one didn't really catch me so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that it didn't hold my attention because I wasn't really excited. I think it was also the way that it was drawn as well. I'm not really that kind of animation for me is not my favorite type of animation, like the exaggerated features and the kind of quite angular drawing. So that probably put me off quite a lot. But I think that overall, that one wasn't one of my favorites.
Okay.
I think the day that Yogurt took over was good.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was so well formed. I thought it was
really good.
Yeah, so well formed. Lucky 13, I thought was meh. That was one about the ship, the number 13 ship that she keeps flying. I felt like there was no points to it.
There was no point, but I did kind of feel like I was kind of starting to get quite attached to the characters in it. I kind of felt like, it's quite nice that there's a relationship there and it's building to something in the end that's going to happen. But yeah, I agree with you because you're kind of like, is that it? Realistic? It's not. Yeah. I can understand it both ways, but it kind of did catch me. That one did catch me.
All right, cool. So
one thing I would say was that some of the animation in it was absolutely amazing.
It was, yeah.
So Aquila Drift, was it? Was it Aquila Drift?
Yeah, Beyond the Aquila Drift, yeah.
Beyond the Aquila Drift. Rift, that was it. Was the animation in that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, same thing with Lucky 13, because Lucky 13, if someone showed you just a still of it, you wouldn't realize it was animation because it looks like the actress who plays her.
Yeah, really good. Really, really good.
Wiley, Sucker Souls. Ooh, I quite like Suits. Yeah, that's the one.
Which one was Suits?
That's the one with the farmers who are fighting against these bugs who keep sort of attacking.
See, I wasn't sure about that one. Again, I wasn't really 100% sure on the point of that one because I understand, why they're doing it and that we're in a certain situation in a certain time where something has happened. Mm-hmm. But the ending for me didn't really lead anywhere because it was like, oh, we're all really sad about it, or we're, something's happened, something big has happened, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Well, the ending of it, I quite like the ending of it because you know how they're fighting off all these things because they're infesting their farmland.
Yeah.
And then the ending, when they pull out from the planet, you realize that they are actually invaded another planet. And all those things that were attacking them were actually the natives on that planet.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was, because they're on another planet and they're under this sort of biodome. So they've gone to another planet, they've colonized a small area of this planet, and the actual natives of that planet are like, what the hell is this thing? And so attacking it, and then they're just sort of killing all the natives of this planet because they want to colonize the planet.
I did not realize that.
Yeah,
that was what it was.
Well, the thing is, I realized, oh, okay, yeah, they've gone to another planet, and these are things that are trying to attack them. But it wasn't until later that when I read something else that was like, okay, hang on a second, that means they've gone to an ecosystem that they're not supposed to be in, and they're kind of like, well, we don't care, we want to live here, so we're just gonna kill you all and take over the land, which has connotations, especially for America, because that's pretty much how America got formed.
Interesting, because I thought it was that they were still on Earth, and they had the biodomes to protect that bit of the Earth, but the rest of it had been invaded and ruined by whatever those things were.
Yeah, that's what.
But actually, it was the opposite way around.
It's the opposite way around, because when you look at when they pan out, the final shot shows you that the planet is definitely not Earth.
But it was just a dark planet, I thought.
Oh, it had rings around it and stuff, but not like Saturn rings. I think it had 2 rings around it. Something that made that I looked at that and I was like, oh, that's not Earth.
I might go and watch that one again.
Yeah. So, and that was Superfan Nina. If you would like to show up on Netflix or cinema, let us know what you think, and let us know what you have watched recently on Netflix, on cinema, which one you think has won, which one you think is better. Then please do get in touch with us on Twitter. That is Netflix via Cinema. On Facebook, Netflix via Cinema as well. We would love to hear from you. We would love to just sort of get you on here and let you see what your thought is. Netflix or cinema? Who's winning? Which one do you prefer? Where would you rather put your money? Is there actually a fight between the two of them? Let us know. We would love to chat to you. Anyway, thank you for listening, and hope to hear from you soon and hope to be speaking to you on the podcast very soon.